What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Week 12 of the Cover 4 podcast. I am joined by my great friends, Cody, Nate, Zach. I'm at an all-time high, coming off a monumental Seahawks win. Nate Dogg and the Steelers won. The Vikings won. Nate Dogg has now tied me in the standings. Let's jump right into that first, because this is last week's board, as you can see. The boys swept their locks outside of me. I had laid the points with the Packers, minus 5.5. They obviously won by a point. Probably shouldn't even have won that game, to be honest. Pretty good week overall. Cody and Nate had a great week at 10-4. I had an average week 8-6, and Zach was out in Puerto Rico, bringing up the rear at 6-8. But now you look at the overall records, and listen, Nate Dogg, I don't know what else to say. He's 99-66. He's now tied me all time. There's not much.
I'm coming. I'm here. I'm staying.
There's not much more I can say. So, congratulations, I guess.
Good
but
stat.
it's a long
Good
season.
stat.
Long season ahead.
Very
still.
long.
So,
very long.
Week 11 was really fun for if you were on the Seahawks. But obviously, if you didn't tune in last week, Zach has placed the biggest bet on this show. Niners
keep saying that.
Niners division.
Every episode.
Listen, it's all,
shout out Seaboys and Jones for convincing me to do that.
Shout
Still
out
got
Seaboys
plenty
and
of
Jones.
time though.
Good
Plenty of
pick.
time.
I know.
Great
right?
minds think alike.
Yeah,
but
good
good pick, guys. Yeah, Gino obviously with a heroic.
Good
Let's
thing
start
they have.
there.
Hey, good thing they have an easy 2 games coming up.
Yeah, Packers and Bills.
Yeah,
I guess we'll start there because I want to. And I tried to tell everybody, Geno Smith just pulling it off. And I don't know, the haters. Can you go ahead, Zach, Cody?
Hey, I mean, they had 13 points prior to that drive, so.
But like,
4 quarters of football.
what did you think out of Geno
points.
Smith?
Oh, he threw the shades
Geno
on.
Smith.
No, I want to hear from the.
He didn't turn the ball over, so I feel like that's great.
Well, he did throw that one pick. What?
No, he wasn't doing it consistently, though.
Oh,
Like he was
facts,
doing.
facts.
He usually does.
Yeah,
consistent
usually he's throwing.
turnovers.
Remember against the Rams in the red zone? Just like consistent picks.
That was my favorite game of the year for sure. I was on the right side of that game. So.
Yeah.
Dog treat bet coming soon.
Yeah, dog treats coming soon. I just ordered some of them, so they'll be on their way. They're shipping.
JSN looks great still.
JSN
Yeah, he's
is.
good.
I'm probably most excited about any player is JSN. He just continues to improve.
Good.
Shows how bad Shane Waldron was.
Almost as
Fraudulent.
good as Addison.
Yeah.
but
Shane
not
Fraudulent.
quite.
Is he the new wide receiver 1 in Seattle, you think? You think he?
I still
he's
think
over
DK is
Metcalf
number
now?
1, but like he's like an amazing second
JSN's
option.
always open.
Like he's just,
He's
and then
good.
you still have
Thanks,
Lockie,
Forrest.
who like gets a few catches a game. Doesn't even need to. He makes like clutch catches, but he doesn't even need to be a guy that catches 6 balls a game. He's just, he's there. Kenneth Walker running well. Charbonnet. I don't know if you guys. I know the Bills game was on at the same time. You guys probably weren't as focused on that game as I was with the Seahawks game. The Charbonnet.
I watched that whole Seahawks game.
The Charbonnet 4th and 1 stop. Like almost, I thought we were dead in the water. I thought Zach's division I thought it was over, but obviously Gino rallied and we got the win. Nate Dogg, your team also, you want to address, there was some TikTok, I think, haters as well on you. If you follow,
Yeah.
make sure you follow us on TikTok
Calling
for
Nate
clips and
Dogg
stuff.
out.
We got some good conversation over there, but saying Ravens money line all the way, insane take.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
insane take when, I'm, as Colton says, I'm a Steelers fan. He's a Seahawks fan. We watch our teams more than other teams watch other teams. I mean, well, assuming he's a Ravens fan, which makes it even
Maybe,
worse.
yeah.
Then my guy, the history. Like the Steelers against Lamar Jackson, it's not very well for Lamar.
Not pretty.
I mean, you can't be fading Nate Dogg. He's hot. He's sharp as a
For
knife
real.
right now.
Yeah,
For real.
Can't
He's
be
cooking.
doing that.
He's cooking.
unacceptable. But in general, though, the Steelers, very happy about them. Like another quality win. That's now back-to-back wins over 7+ win teams. 2 teams that are explosive offenses. Good wins.
Russ,
and
Russ
then
had
the
a
trend.
tough pick.
Yeah,
But-
it was kind of like unlucky, like a little
Yeah.
over the throw back at the end. Yeah.
Were you
How
worried
many-
at that because it was 15?
Did he have
to
6
10?
fantasy points, Russ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then
It was all defense.
yeah.
But also consider, Ravens defense was like pretty bad this year, but every time you played the Steelers in the division game, it's Steelers don't score touchdowns on the Ravens that loud touchdowns all the time. It's like some people are like, oh, the Steelers can't score, and even the Ravens, like what's wrong with them? It's like it's a division game. It always happens. It's always tough with the Steelers Ravens. So just like
Always close games.
relax with the doubt. There's still hope. We're on the rise and trying to see some fight happen in February.
Yeah.
We're getting
The
there.
Steelers.
Obviously, if you guys, the biggest game of the week, Chiefs Bills, undoubtedly, kind of went the way I think a lot of people thought. Like the Bills were up in that classic spot, 23-21, like close game, 4th and 2, and everybody's like, if they kick a field goal, you know what's going to happen next with Mahomes. What were you think, Cody? Obviously, right call to go for it. Josh Allen,
100%.
best play of the year, probably right there.
Yeah.
Hero ball. What do you think about
That's
that?
going to stipend his MVP right there, that
Yeah.
play. They're going to replay that all season.
Yeah.
He just took the throat of Patty Mahomes. And he just pile drive them. Like he pile drive the Chiefs. That game is over with that play. It was fantastic. So he looks phenomenal. And they don't even have Keon Coleman back yet.
Right.
So
Kincaid
they're going to
and
only
Coleman
get
were
better.
out.
And Kincaid was
Not
out.
that Kincaid's been doing much, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's another point.
What a rivalry, though, huh?
Yeah, I
It
think
kind of
this is-
sucks though, because all that
It's like
matters
getting
is the
Brady.
playoffs, and we all know what's
Yeah.
happened with
Right.
Josh Allen and Mahomes in the
And
playoffs.
I
You
know
just can't beat
we
them.
alluded to this before this game. We were talking about how like it doesn't really change anything if they win this game. But
Nah.
after watching it, does it mean anything to you?
No.
No. Okay.
I mean, it's just you got to be a playoff guy. Like
Right.
Tom Brady was a playoff guy. That's
Mhm.
why he made his legacy. You know, he
Right.
won games too.
It's a
But
fact.
he didn't care about the regular season. So
Wins
we
a
got the
lot.
same thing with going on in Baltimore. Lamar Jackson. What's that guy done in October? I mean, no,
Right.
this isn't baseball, but like, what's he done in February and like
He's
Christmas
still on the
time? You know?
Yankees. Cody's still on the Yankees.
Yeah, bad, tough
Yeah.
loss.
And the
Yeah.
Chiefs
know-
will have Pacheco back, right?
Yeah,
Pacheco's
he's
not-
practicing.
He's coming
Yeah.
back, so Mahomes always like loses to Allen usually in the regular season. Then
Yep.
playoffs come.
Do you
so
think he
if
does that on
Mahomes-
purpose?
He's just not like
So he
that.
could give,
Like
some
to
false
just like
confidence,
give
false
him
hope.
like a little bit of
No.
like.
Well, Mahomes is a different player in the playoffs, so
yeah.
Yeah.
That
every
was-
every
He
stat
raises-
goes
he
up.
raises the level
His-
of
But do
play.
you think he's so much better than everybody that like he's just like he's like kind of bringing in the crowd like type of thing, like
No.
giving Allen
Oh,
one
like
win?
a little bait.
Yeah, a
No, I
little
just
bit,
think
yeah,
he
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
have to turn it on yet. He doesn't have to turn it on. I mean, they're still 9-1, which is crazy.
Without
How many
Pacheco.
years does this guy have though? They're 9-1. Yeah.
NFL's
Yeah, like-
pooky, bro.
And-
NFL's
that's what happens when he's
The
when
NFL
the NFL's
Cody
pooky.
declared him. Yeah, NFL's.
Yeah.
Travis
Yeah.
Kelsey 2 catches,
Yeah.
8 yards. No Taylor
Yeah.
Swift sighting, I don't think.
I think she's gonna be on Kendrick Lamar's new album. Actually, I heard.
Is that
Really?
a fact? Or is
Yeah,
that-
I just saw that. I don't know if it's a fact, but I heard that.
Did Kelsey
I think they're.
give the okay
I don't
to
know
that?
if that's true.
Yeah.
That's probably why he only had 2 catches.
All right, let's talk about another game that, before we get into this week's games, the Packers and Bears. I was on the Packers as my lock. I already said that. And it's unfortunate because I've lost 4 straight locks or something.
Oh man.
And I was pretty confident about it. And then as soon as I started watching that game, I was like, this is not going to go my way. And sure enough, Caleb Williams has a pretty decent day. They still don't score 20 points, but he put them in position to win again, just like he did in the Commanders game. And he fell short. I don't know. Thoughts about Caleb Williams going forward? Thoughts about I don't know. What do you take
The
away
team
from
looks
this
so much
game?
better now that Fraudron's gone. Like you can see, like even though they only
Fraudron.
put up 19 points, it made a difference. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
Fraudron was limiting that offense, so they look much better now, in my opinion. Like they should have won that game. So
Yeah, for fantasy's sake, I hope Caleb Williams and DJ Moore now click on a more better level. Hopefully, it was the Fraudron.
better matchup this week too.
Yeah.
Good matchups
Could
going
be.
forward, so maybe they start clicking on offense finally, consistently, maybe.
Could be a big
Hopefully.
DJ Moore week. Hopefully not.
Yeah, right. Maybe.
Definitely want to give love to Bo Nix as well. I know you were talking about
Bo
this.
Nix looks
Big
great.
Nix guy.
Bo Nix
Love
4
him.
touchdowns, 38-6. The Broncos defeat the Falcons. Kirk Cousins. I think they had 3
MVP
points.
candidate.
I think. I
Bo
mean,
Nix?
I mean, come on.
I think they had a
He's getting
3-point.
there.
The Falcons had a
He's getting
3-point
there.
drive or
Good.
something and did nothing the rest of the game. Broncos defense looks super, super legit. I think this is a dangerous. I'll ask Nate this because he's the only fan of an AFC team on the show. Who would you least say the Steelers win the division, which
Mhm.
is not obviously guaranteed still, but say they win the division, get like a 2 or 3 seed. What wild card team would you least want to play in the AFC in the first round? Like Broncos, Chargers, Ravens. Like I'm assuming you're fine with playing the Ravens based on the track record, but who would you least want to see?
Out
Dolphins.
of the Broncos,
Least
the
wanna play.
Chargers, the Ravens.
Most
They got to play the
scared.
Bengals twice still.
Dolphins.
Most scared of.
Probably the Bengals.
Yeah.
Bengals?
Bengals.
Really?
The Bengals.
Yeah.
I mean, overall in the
Yeah, they still
playoffs,
have to
like
play them twice, Cody, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, still, like aside from like the good track record we have against Cincinnati in the playoffs, like besides that though, like I know, like the
Wait, is that when Antonio Brown that was the playoffs?
Yeah,
right? We got
I
CT
think
live.
2 or 3 in a row we beat
just got nailed.
beating the Bengals in the playoffs, but
Pause.
the Bengals, if the Bengals get in though, like they're 4-7 now.
Yeah.
But if the Bengals do get in, like they're clicking so much on offense that like by the time that game comes, like
You'd be scared.
they'll be
I'm
like
a little
hot,
worried
you know?
about the Bengals
So
now,
it'll be a
because-
very close,
That's very
scary
true.
game.
Yeah.
Cody and I are usually the last ones to quit the Bengals, and I haven't like quit them. I don't know if you have, but like they're throwing Evan McPherson under the bus in the post game. Jamar is like throwing people, and I get it because like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are playing like out of their minds.
Yeah.
You know, they're
Why
playing
wouldn't they?
great, right? So I get
McPherson
it.
has costed them 3 games this year. What is
Yeah.
wrong with him?
Unacceptable.
And
It's unacceptable. Like
Unacceptable.
what you get paid to kick field goals, and this is his job. This is like he was appointed captain last year,
Yeah.
and they already stripped it
Captain.
from him. Like the guy, he's not making his field goals. So
And he was like very cocky with that.
Remember the
playoff
Super
match.
Bowl?
He was super cocky.
he didn't even go to the locker room for the Super Bowl. He stayed to watch the halftime show. He's like, nah, I don't need to go to the
making
locker
him
room.
captain probably
That's
gave
crazy.
him that ego that he
Yeah,
didn't deserve.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Fair
I-
enough.
He's definitely not him. So
Who would you take better chance to make the playoffs? I don't think this is as obvious as it may have seemed a week or two ago. Better chance to make the playoffs, Bengals or Dolphins?
In mean, Bengals. I think they're a
Bengals?
better team. I don't know if they get hot, like they can make a playoff run.
Dolphins probably have a better chance though.
Yeah,
Because
I
the
don't
schedule.
know.
Yeah, and
I was
they
gonna
still-
say
they still
I lean
get-
into
Yeah.
the Dolphins because the schedule.
The schedule, like they have to play the Bengals twice. Like the Bengals have to play the Steelers twice. So like,
Yeah.
they're gonna lose one of those, maybe both.
Mhm.
Then
Probably, yeah.
they play someone else, another good team still too. They still play the Texans,
Yeah.
Yeah, Packers, right?
Packers. I
Bengals
believe.
play the Packers.
I
Dolphins play the Packers though too. I know.
Oh,
that
yeah,
on,
Dolphins.
Well, the only thing with the
Thanksgiving,
Bengals
I
is like
think.
they've been there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've been like in a deep playoff run.
Yeah, but
When,
how their
like-
hole that they've dug themselves in is
Yeah.
so deep.
No,
like,
yeah, I know.
how do you dig yourself out of a hole this deep?
They're
Yeah.
not dead in the water by any means,
Yeah.
but like they need some like 50-50 games, and some teams probably like lose a little bit to help them out too, which can still happen. Both scenarios are
They're
still a
still so
possibility.
fantasy relevant. What I'm worried about is like if they end up like continuously losing, are those guys that are fantasy relevant right now? They're just gonna like sit the last
You were
2 or
talking
3
about
games?
that.
last week. That's gonna be-
Like that's so possible.
Yeah.
Why would they want to like risk injury?
If
Yeah.
Bengals get eliminated in the playoffs, you think Chase is gonna be like playing still?
He wants his contract. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, why would he play?
Right. He might even start like.
I mean, he is on a year where he could break records though. So he should.
Yeah, that's
True.
what I was thinking.
Which
too.
could also enhance his deal too.
Yeah.
So.
Does he care about that? Like, I don't know how much.
I think
He cares about his
he
bag.
cares about his bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple quick points to hit on before we move on. I just want to say Taysom Hill, obviously insane game, 130.
Everybody
yards
was
rushing.
expecting that.
It's brutal because I know people have him on your fantasy team, maybe on the bench or something for some reason. Like you don't start him ever, but then he has these games and it's just so sick because it's impossible to predict. But hey, Darren Rizzi got them playing. Saints have won 2 straight. Darren Rizzi has the boy. He's clogging toilets and he's winning games. I don't know. That's the Saints have something figured out over there. Obviously, they're not really.
That's what you think until they the bed this week.
Right. That's a fact. But they are on a bye.
Next week then, whenever.
Okay. Just check.
Whenever they-
Jets suck. I want to say that because they suck.
Yeah.
They suck. Now
They're
I'm
bad.
setting myself
Aaron
up.
Rodgers sucks.
Yeah, and they play the Seahawks off the bye next week. So Seahawks have to win that game. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers, Jets dead.
I wonder what Devontae and Aaron Rodgers talk about. Like, what are they talking about right
Yeah.
Devontae's too busy doing his Taco Bell commercials. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's not worried about making the playoffs right now.
now?
Yeah, but good question. Assuming Aaron Rodgers doesn't return as a Jets quarterback next year, who do you guys think is like a good free agent?
They got to get Zach
Zachy
Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
They got to bring
Do
him
they give
back.
him that chance?
You gotta get
No.
the- Love
Woody
it,
Johnson loves that guy, bro. He loves what he brings to the table. He brings
Justin Fields and Sam Darnold are both quarterbacks, free agent quarterbacks.
Sam Darnold's interesting.
Dude,
I
they
don't
had
know
a higher
what the-
winning percentage on the Jets than Rodgers does right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson.
Well, I think it's
Yeah.
interesting. It
Yeah.
depends how the Vikings finish. I think I don't know what because they have JJ too.
They have
so I don't
JJ
know what they're
still.
going to actually decide to do. Sam Darnold would be interesting. I don't know if he would go back to New York. I would also
I don't
say
think he
Matt.
would.
I don't know if Matthew Stafford at any point if depending on how the Rams finish.
It
if
all
they
went
move on from
downhill
Matthew
when they got
Stafford.
rid of Salah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
They would be.
Like-
I truly believe they would be 2 games better at least if Salah was
Yeah.
the coach.
Oh yeah.
Because
Oh,
like
yeah.
he wasn't
He's a
clearly
good
wasn't
coach.
the problem.
I
The
don't
defense has been
understand
falling
But-
apart.
And that's
Woody
all,
Johnson,
you know
man.
that's all Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he's-
did.
he-
Like, Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers
Rodgers-
gave Salah one of these, and that was it for Salah.
And he just made himself the king of New York, and
and he sucks.
he's driven them into the ground. And I don't know what else to say.
Who's
about
been worse in New York this year, Daniel Jones or Aaron Rodgers?
that. I know, but there's
That's a
few.
great question.
Who's coming this week?
So
Remember what we had
literally-
said
Tommy
about the
DeVito,
Tommy
hey.
DeVito? Right when it gets cold and the Italians make it to the
I
game.
don't understand why is Drew Lock not playing?
Because you didn't see all those incentives that if he hits all those things, they'll have to pay him like
well, and DeVito's
millions
got,
of dollars.
I
DeVito's
didn't
got
see
mob
that.
ties too, so you gotta like.
Yeah.
And they think they'll probably get more
Fair.
fans to the game with DeVito, of course, because the Italian.
Drew
Yeah,
Lock
he's
is
good.
good.
DeVito.
Like Drew Lock's not bad.
Drew Lock's not bad. Have you
He's
seen what
not
he's
bad.
looked like this year
He's not bad.
when they've put him out there?
Yeah, but it's been like
been
garbage
bad.
time. No,
Yeah, I know,
Give
but
Drew Lock a whole game.
Bro, preseason was ugly
He
too.
came in, dropped the dime to JSN, and beat the Eagles last
He's
year. Do you remember?
ass.
Yeah,
real ones
yeah,
remember
that was in a different
Yeah.
system though.
That's
Like
true.
this is the New York Giants. I
Yeah,
haven't
stop.
seen it. When's the last time a quarterback was good since Eli Manning on the Giants? Name like
Tyrod Taylor. For a
Tyrod
minute,
Taylor.
maybe?
Not really. He
Not
was
really.
never. Even he's been good other places, but he couldn't win there.
Yeah.
Nobody
No,
can
they
win as a
suck.
Giant right now. They're
Giants are
cursed.
the most obscure franchise because they have those 2 Super Bowl wins since 2007.
ruined a
But
perfect
they've had
season.
nothing else. Like
No.
every other season that weren't those 2 years really have been. I mean, they've had decent seasons, but it's usually like because Eli Manning obviously
Do a lot of
interceptions,
interceptions.
losing record in a lot of things. Like he's like a borderline. I know that's why the Hall
But
of
he's
Fame
Tom
conversation
Brady's
is,
daddy.
and that's amazing.
He
So,
owns the
yeah, he'll
Patriots
always
and
have
Bill
that.
Belichick. Maybe more like Bill Belichick, dude.
Yeah, for real.
To think that he's the quarterback to
His height is
beat
like higher than
Pats
anybody.
twice,
Like, come on,
like, in
beating
the
an
Super Bowl.
18-0 team.
And
That's
now
crazy.
you know
That's
who's
his
you know
team.
who's gonna
It
dethrone
wasn't the
Mahomes?
Saints. It wasn't Drew Brees.
Arch Manning. He's
Yeah,
gonna
Arch
dethrone
Manning.
Mahomes.
That's
Oh, yeah.
interesting. I
He's
thought
coming
I
up.
thought
New
Aiden
York.
O'Connell.
No,
He's going to New York, baby.
Arch Manning. He's coming. I'm telling
All
you.
right. Marquee 4 games of the week. We start Lambeau Field. The Niners at the Packers. Packers just a 1.5 favorite. Obviously, the Niners coming off the heartbreaking loss the beautiful, beautiful game last week. I'm just going to quickly open up on this game and talk about how I'm very confident in the Niners this week. I hate them, but I really think they're going to go into Lambeau. I think Christian McCaffrey, this is now third week back. Hey, those are the winter sunglasses. Vikings are winning too.
Man.
Third week back for McCaffrey. I think we finally see him really get involved.
Huh? Kittle's back
so.
too.
I know we've been kind of saying that. Kittle back.
Let's go Niners. Let's go.
No.
Let's go.
Chill. Juwan Jennings had a really great week. The Seahawks struggled with him. I think the pieces are coming together. This team's too talented. As much as I despise them, me and Chachi had a great back and forth on Instagram.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Shout out, Chach.
Shout out, Chachi. I think this team's too talented to not win this game. The Packers haven't exactly looked great. Jordan Love's turning the ball over at a high rate. They barely beat the Bears. They probably should have lost the Bears. So there's Matt LaFleur will for sure have a good game plan, but I like the Niners a lot in this game, and we'll get to that later.
Yeah,
Any
I love
thoughts
the
about
Niners a lot in this game. No bias, nothing crazy. Pretty much the same thing I said last week. I need them coming off a tough loss. They got everybody together. They're going to get it done.
I love the Packers this week. It's just tough with the fantasy stuff because you never know which guy to pick, but I'm all over the Packers this week. I think they bury the Niners.
Wow.
They
I mean, I would
them.
honestly be happy because, let's be honest.
Nah,
it would help me.
Bro.
It's over with.
I'd probably double down on the Seahawks.
Are you
It's
declaring
over.
time of death?
The ship is sinking after this week.
Are the Niners dead?
After this week, yes.
Okay, after
Jordan Love's going to tuck each one of them in a tombstone.
I tend to agree with Cody. I think the Packers will win this game.
Outright.
I don't love it, but I think it will happen.
They're favored. What the
Matter.
I think it will happen. And then San Fran's 5-6, and then
I'm taking
Ship
all
is
the
sinking.
points, the
Niners,
alternate lines.
Niners have.
What's the alternate line? Somebody figure this out. -7.5.
He's
-8.5,
not taking the teaser
-9.5.
cushion.
The Niners have dominated this matchup too, in particular.
Yeah.
You can say that. You can say that doesn't matter.
NFC
but
Championship rematch.
Right.
No
And
more
even the wild
Rodgers.
card or divisional round last year.
No
Okay,
more
so there you
Aaron
go.
Rodgers in Green Bay.
I'm taking Aaron Rodgers and Greg Jennings and Donald Driver.
Yeah.
Greg
I'm
Jennings
not
was
gonna lie,
talking
this is-
crazy today
yeah.
about the Bears.
Jordy Nelson.
Donald
None of
Driver.
that.
No,
Yeah.
Greg Jennings. He was on Nick Wright's show talking crazy.
I mean, Greg Jennings,
It's
man.
Niners, baby.
Greg Jennings used to light teams up.
Moving on. More NFC West. Love it. Best division in football, right? No, it's a cluster over there, but this is a big one. The Cardinals leading the division, going in to Lumen Field to take on the Seahawks. Seahawks are now. This is actually wrong because it just changed. I updated the lines. +1.5 now. Seahawks are +1.5 at home. Now the Seahawks haven't been playing as well at home. I said that last week. They've been better on the road, but I think this is a spot where they usually play the Cardinals pretty well in particular. If they can bottle up Kyler Murray, the defense, by the way, looked a lot better last week. We saw them limit Christian McCaffrey, contained him pretty well. I think they can do a similar thing to James Conner here. Just cannot let McBride, tight ends over the middle. We can't have Marvin, obviously. They have a lot of dynamic weapons,
My boy.
but
Yep.
but Julian Love, Devin Witherspoon, I don't know if you saw Job. He's been cooking. So they have a lot of talent in this defense. I like the Seahawks too. Win this game. If the Rams lose, Seahawks will have sole possession of first
I think
place.
strategically, I want the Seahawks to win this game.
For your Niners bet.
This is going to be a close game. I feel like these games are always pretty close, the divisional games. But yeah, I think I need the Seahawks to pull this one out because the Niners play the Cardinals, I think the last game of the year, right? And then the Seahawks play the Cardinals again in 2 weeks. So yeah, I need
A lot of divisional games here.
I need the Seahawks to win this game. So yeah, go Seahawks.
Let's go.
Yeah, nah,
'Cause you're
I
rooting for
agree.
the Niners.
I'm also on the Seahawks in this game because the Cardinals are too inconsistent for me. It's like, when the Cardinals really start to get rolling, they look good. They just fall flat on offense against a team they should have no problem scoring
Might be one of the
against.
few teams off a bye. Might be worse. I think they didn't need time. I think they should have they want to just keep playing. Watch.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No, that's fair.
you
But
can
yeah,
buy
it's
into
like,
that, but-
granted, the Cardinals have won 4 or 5 games in a row, whatever it is. Overall, no, they can fall flat in their face any second, and I think it'll be in Seattle.
Just like when Nate just said, they've won 4 or 5 games in a row. The team's hot. I think Gannon's doing a great job with the defense.
Gannon.
He has a bunch
You
of
just can't- you
no-names.
Can't pick the Seahawks, can you?
I've picked the Seahawks before.
Yeah, I know, but
Not this week, though. I mean,
No.
I think Gannon's doing a great job. He's going to continue to do a great job with what he has. He doesn't even have that many big names. He's got Buda Baker.
He's a
I mean,
dog.
I
Yeah.
can't really name anybody else. So I'm going to be taking the Cardinals, though. I love it. I think Marv has a big day, so
yeah, you love it.
we'll see.
You
I hope he has a big day.
All right, this is a nice little Sunday night football matchup. I think an underrated game. Also, line just changed 2.5 now. The Rams are getting at home. This game is like I was don't overthink it. I was thinking Rams. They're gonna move the ball well. No, Eagles are the better team. Nick Sirianni, I think, is one of the worst coaches in the NFL, but Saquon's going to have a great day. I know the Rams defense is kind of up and coming. They're kind of playing well. Jarrett Verse obviously playing. He's going to be defensive rookie of the year. But I think the Eagles have reinserted themselves into the top of the NFC. I think they are the class of the NFC up there with the Lions. It's weird because I always never buy into the Eagles fully. I always think they have, because I'm not a huge Jalen Hurts guy. I've always had a couple of things with Jalen Hurts, thinking like in the big moment, but I think this team's playing really well. The O-line, replacing Jason Kelsey, they've done a great job. Defense is really, the corners over there are flying around in Philly. So I think they do enough. I think they can beat the Rams in LA. It's going to be indoors, no weather concerns. I think they go into LA. I think Stafford has a decent day, but I like the Eagles to win and cover.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely second-guessing myself here. I feel like the Rams can win this game, but like CVA said, I'm going to go with the don't overthink it. The Eagles are a much better team. They got a full, healthy squad, so just go with the Schmeagles here.
I'm picking the Rams in this game because
split.
Because the Rams, the way they're playing right now, like they lost a lot early. They've gone on a roll, getting hot. I don't think that changes against an Eagles team who, yes, like the Eagles, like to Colton's point, like Eagles are top of the class of the NFC, but I think they're behind the Lions. And the Eagles on offense, one thing that's really stopping them from, I think, being in that same category with the Lions is the fact that there's days that they're going down the field, Hurts rushing for 40 yards, Barkley handoff, A.J. Brown, big play over the top. But at the same time, then you have games that, like, it's 3 and out. And it's like, I don't know, that inconsistency.
That's football, though.
No, it is.
Football.
But I feel like with like the talent they have in offense, like I don't know, I feel like I just like
happens too often.
A little too much. But I think the Rams, though, you can't say the same thing for the Rams too. How their offense is, sometimes they don't go well.
But they're just getting healthy too. They're only a few weeks into being fully healthy.
Yeah, the Rams are hot, so I think they can move the ball consistently in this game. So
I like the Rams a lot too. Like you were saying, Verse has been phenomenal. I think he's gonna have a big impact on this game. And I just think Sirianni is such a porous coach. I don't think he even compares, not even the same universe as McVay. So I'm going to be taking the Rams here.
One more matchup to talk about before we dive into locks. The Ravens and the Chargers, the Harbaugh Bowl. We last saw, I don't know if it was the last time, but I know the biggest time the Harbaughs faced off was obviously Super Bowl 2012 season where the Ravens defeated the Niners. That was a fun one. Joe Flacco got his ring. Ray Lewis went out with a ring. This one is in LA. The Chargers just keep cooking with, I would argue, limited talent in a lot of areas. A lot of no-name defense here, like not a lot of big names, not a lot of flashy players, but they didn't even have Khalil Mack, and they're just winning games very simply. But I know where the whole set is here, and I know I'm once again lone wolfing the Ravens, but I want to hear the Chargers side of this. So any one of you want to jump in?
Jim Harbaugh has given this team a new identity. Yeah. They just look insanely better than last year. So impressive. Herbert is like a top 3 fantasy QB past 5 weeks.
Yeah, I feel like Herbert's always been a good quarterback, but now he's kind of got that coach.
He's had Brandon
on
Staley.
His side.
J.K. Dobbins looks good now. Like he has 9 touchdowns, 9 games.
Sure.
It's insane.
Sure.
I'm with the Chargers here also because I think it's a big revenge game for Jim Harbaugh. I think very big. I almost like John, but yeah, Jim Harbaugh, big Super Bowl revenge game. He has the Chargers, firing on all cylinders. All of us know, everyone who knows football knows that Justin Herbert's a very good quarterback. But this season, his numbers have dipped off a little bit. But that's because they want to be more of a physical team, run more, use more tight ends. Like not really. They lose a lot of receivers, so not a lot of big splash plays.
Will Dissly, that's Unk.
Yeah. Will Dissly, former Seahawk.
Uncle Will.
But yeah, but Herbert's he's been throwing the ball more lately.
Yeah.
They're running effectively. His numbers are getting better. He's very efficient. Like his ratio is very good to Justin Herbert. Yeah, and Lamar Jackson, anytime he doesn't play against the Steelers, he looks like a much different quarterback.
Yeah.
But I do think, with that being said, it's going to be a scrap fest, a dogfight, a close game. Chargers defense, I think, gives them a lot of problems.
Zach, battle through the cramp.
I'm on the Chargers +3. I agree with a lot of the things that Nate was saying. I feel like they got the coach to support them. Everything's clicking at the right moment for this team, and definitely starting both those receivers against this weak Ravens secondary.
So weak, brutal secondary.
I've lone wolfed the Ravens a lot, as we've talked about on the show. I'm doing it again here. I like the -3. This is the Ravens off a loss in a angry get back spot. Obviously, the coach angle is cool, but I think the story of the day will be Lamar Jackson indoors, fast track, getting moving. Derrick Henry gets some carries. The Chargers defense has been good, but they haven't seen anything quite like this. I think the Ravens run all over the Chargers and have a big day. All right, we move on to locks. Cover 4 podcast locks here on the screen now. Nate Dogg. He's been hot in all aspects. He is also hot in the locks.
I'm hot.
Zach is also hot. I think he's won. We go ahead and check it, but at least 3 straight, possibly more. Cody is also back over 500, and now he has the best all-time record, passing me. Don't look now. I mean, at one point, I literally was like 18-5 or something insane. Now I'm 18-10. I continue to struggle this year right now. Yeah, it's a little, take my ego down a spot there. It's a tough one, but percentages are all really great. I just want everybody to key in on these lock percentages. If you have started following the show recently, or if you're one of the people that have watched it for several weeks, I hope you're tailing these locks because those numbers are great. You don't see 60% on a larger sample size. This is now year 2. Be sure to look at these locks and,
wild.
you don't have to parlay all of them, but think about them. And that brings us to this week. I will open up with Nate. You're the hottest man on the set. Give me your lock of the week.
I'm going to lock the Steelers in to cover the spread for the week. Again, it's going to be a division game.
Homer.
It'll be a division game, and it could probably be close.
Is that the guy's name?
When it comes to the Browns, I think the Steelers are either going to win this game very, very easily, or Winston can make it a tough one, low key. But tough one or not, I think Steelers won by 4. Our defense, I think we'll intercept Jameis, get some turnovers.
TJ Watt,
at the right time. TJ Watt maybe
crazy.
Finally gets going in this game, from a sack number standpoint. Hopefully, he gets to Winston a couple times and a couple interceptions. Winston can throw them.
I can see him getting to Winston.
Yeah,
for sure. They have such a bad O-line. They're a bit Browns, so
I can see him being rattled. But if the run, but it's also the Nick Chubb revenge game against the Steelers. So
yeah.
True.
It's a big narrative.
All right, Zach, lock.
I'm going with the rookie of the year and a very balanced team.
He's not the rookie of the year, I don't
He's going to be. Okay. Very balanced offense and defensive team. Bo Nix, -6.5 for the Broncos. If it was any more than that, I would be a little scared. But I think they can win by a touchdown. And, yeah, I'm going with that.
I'm going to be taking the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams looked brutal, but he did show some life this week. Obviously, close game with the Packers. We all thought the Packers were going to blow them out.
I really thought.
And I know they play them I think it's week 18 or 17.
18.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they play them week 18 at home, so I think in that game in Green Bay they'll get them. But I think here in this spot against the Vikings, I think it's all Bears. I think Caleb Williams gets on track. Big day, maybe Keenan Allen touchdown, Cole Kmet touchdown.
Dunze.
I love all the Bears in fantasy this week. Start them all up.
Don't hear that very
I hope
often.
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore looked a little more like himself last week, so hopefully we see more of that. But
I'm going to turn. Sometimes when I'm struggling, let me turn to a team that I hate. I'm taking the 49ers. Getting plus 1.5. Plus 1.5. I'm taking the Niners plus 1.5. I despise this team with every fiber of my bone.
This is not good for me though.
I am cold right now in locks, and this is bad for Zach's picks. I also see it. This might be a little bit of an emotional hedge here because if they lose, good. But also, if they win,
it's a win-win situation.
Kind of, or lose-lose depending how you see it. I think, win-win. I genuinely believe, though, they're going to get back on track this week. Again, I already said everything I need to say. I think they're too talented of a team to go under 500 here. Wouldn't mind seeing it, but I don't think they do. Give me the Niners plus that 1.5 on Sunday. All right, this is bad. Not going to lie. I can't sugarcoat this one. Our starts and sits from last week were pretty horrible. As you can see, the starts, Nick Chubb, Hawkinson, Wilson, Smith, nobody got over 7 points. The sits, Nate sat Anthony Richardson, Anthony Richardson exploded.
28
points. Drake London was a pretty decent set. He didn't have a big day. Nobody in the Falcons really had a big day. Not the best numbers, but let's regroup and fire some for this week. Fantasy Players of the Week, I'm going to kick it off with Cody. Who do you got? Start, sit.
For sitting, I'm definitely sitting Rico Dowdle this week. I think it's a game script where Dallas gets – I think Dallas is getting blown out in this game, and I think what's going to end up happening is unfortunately Rico Dowdle is just not going to have a factor in this game. He's not going to get any receptions really because they have Zeke in there a lot for the passing down. So I think he has a rough day. And for my start, I was going to go Quentin Johnson, but I'm actually going to slide over to Rachaad White going against the Giants, who have a very bad run defense. So I think he has a huge day.
Yeah, my sit for the week is going to be Kobe Myers. He's been very consistent overall this fantasy year. He's had especially the past couple of weeks. But going against Denver, Pat Surtain, I don't know. I think he's going to have a very, very tough day against that defense, and especially that matchup. For my start, I am going to go with Quentin Johnson from the Chargers. The Ravens defense is very, very suspect. The Steelers didn't do much against it last week, but don't be fooled. They're very weak against receivers, especially. It wouldn't surprise me if Quentin Johnson had 2 touchdowns on Monday night.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm agreeing with Nate with the start, but McConkey, Quentin Johnson, Uncle Disley, start them all.
Will Disley.
Very weak Ravens secondary. My sit's going to be Chube Hoob. Troop hoop. Ravens.
Sit?
Yeah, that's my sit. Because Brooks is supposed to play.
Mhm,
I was
he
looking
is.
at that. And the Chiefs have a good run defense. So
Very good.
if you got a better
like it.
option, I would consider it. Sit the Troop hoop guy.
All right,
that was fair.
I'm on all over the place here. I'm just going to take some shots here. I'm going to go for a start. I'm going to go Audric Estime. I'm going to go Audric Estime against the Raiders. He's been worked into the
That's a
offense a
sick
little bit
name.
more. Javonte Williams has
He's
been.
from Notre Dame.
Javonte Williams is very hit or miss, so I'll stay away from him, and I'll say Estime gets a little more involved in the offense. Maybe if you need a deep cut there. I actually am starting him in a league because I'm short in running backs.
I might have to start him.
So,
Gee.
and then I'm going to have a crazy sit that makes, like, it's actually insane. I'm going to sit Malik Neighbors because I think
Ooh,
Tommy
that's
DeVito,
not
I think
bad.
Tommy DeVito is really bad. Drew Lock would have gave them such a better chance to win. Daniel Jones, I think Daniel Jones, there's few people that right now I think are worse than Daniel Jones. I think Tommy DeVito is worse than Daniel Jones. No offense to him, but I just don't see. We've done this experiment before with Tommy DeVito.
They just don't want him getting hurt, though,
Right,
because
I
the
hear
injury
you.
clause.
But it
It's like
didn't-
$25 million locked
Right,
up.
because
So.
the Tommy DeVito thing, we already did this. It was cool for a minute, like spaghetti, pasta, whatever, meatballs. But they didn't. They didn't do anything. Like he fizzled out really quickly. So his agent can keep dressing like a mob boss. but
I
don't
would
think it's gonna
disagree.
matter.
I think he's scrappy.
I don't know. I think Drew Lock.
Remember
is
when he
scrappy.
beat Jordan Love on prime
I
time?
mean, yeah,
Listen.
dude, he's scrappy.
Sit Malik Neighbors. I know it's crazy. I love Malik Neighbors. Wrapping up, quick look at the overview of the week 12. I'm lone wolfing the Browns on Thursday Night Football, while everybody else rides the Steelers, including Nate with the Steelers lock. Split board on the Bears and Vikings. Cody and I taking the points with the Bears, and that is Cody's lock. Storm on the Buccaneers. We're all fading DeVito in some way here. Dolphins, Patriots. Zach is lone wolfing the Patriots. That line has gone up a bit. He's taking the points. Split board on the Chiefs and Panthers. Nate and Cody taking the points. Zach and I are laying the big number. Speaking of big numbers, Zach and Nate are laying 10.5 with the Commanders. Cody and I on the Cowboys. Lone wolf for Nate Dogg with the Houston Texans. Titans are 1-9 against the spread this year, but 3 of us are on the Titans. We're all laying the points with the Lions except Cody, who is lone wolfing A. Rich. The Broncos are getting 3 of our votes, including Zach's lock. Cody is taking the points with the Raiders. I am locking in the Niners. As I said, Zach is with me. Nate and Cody on the Packers. Seahawks are getting a lot of love finally, except for number 1 hater, Cody Santo, who is taking the Cardinals. And then Sunday Night Football, Eagles, Rams, split board. And then I am lone wolf in the Ravens once again in LA on Monday Night Football. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like. Follow us on TikTok. We've been getting some good engagement over there. There's been kind of some funny comments.
Yeah,
so be
engaging.
sure to check
Very
out the
engaging.
TikTok. I'll link that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we will see you Thanksgiving week. A little special episode coming up. Thanksgiving week next
Oh, yeah.
week.
Special.
Very fun. So make sure you tune in. We'll see you soon.